world, what is happening is people are more connected to their digital tools than they're connected to their internal technology.
Empowered Women series has allowed me to talk to many accomplished women. And every time I talk to a woman, I learn so much from them. And one of such women is Chitra Lele. Chitra Lele, before she turned 30, she has already written 40 books. She holds a Limca Book of World Record in addition to some 70 different certifications and awards. She runs her own business of software consulting firm. She's also studying. And at the same time, she is this coolest online influencer for, you know, inspiring people to how to get best out of their career, their lives, how to be a mindful person. And all these things, just seeing her online profile and persona, they impressed me a lot. But what impressed the most about her was her responsiveness. You can imagine a person like this, she is so busy. And anytime I asked her any question, emailed her about anything, sent her message on LinkedIn about anything, I got a reply within minutes. And I just don't know how she does it. So that is going to be our topic of discussion today. We are going to ask her and we are going to find from her how she does it. Are you ready to listen to this? Let's do it.
Like I said, my first question to you, and I've been most curious about, is I have seen that you have achieved a lot and you are always working on these fabulous projects. You are so active online. And yet at the same time, I always receive replies from you within, if not in within few minutes, in few hours, because we are on different time zones. So how do you manage your time so well? How do you do it?
That's a very interesting question, and this question is often asked to me by several people from various walks of life. I'll share the philosophy behind how my profession and passion blend together in a seamless manner. And this seamless cohesion is related to that time management aspect. See, at any given point in time, I'm either a software consultant churning out new ideas for my books or the next research paper. And the next moment, I'm an author who's trying to validate her new theories and approaches in the practical settings of the corporate world, be it my own field of information technology or any other domain. So at any moment in time, I'm wearing both the hats. Both the roles are active. I'm not doing any roles reversal or role switching. So there itself, a lot of time is saved because my brains, which are kept active due to my software engineering profession, and my inner spark, which is kept active due to my passion of writing academic books, they are both operating in sync. So there itself, my time is saved because I'm not switching roles. And there are another two critical aspects which help me to manage my time. One is observation of people, situations and circumstances, and one is interaction with people, situations and circumstances. These factors always help me to remain in the objective observation mode. So anytime, even if I'm working in the company or I'm working outside or I'm at home, I'm always looking out for knowledge gaps in these workflow things which are present in these two elements, observation, interaction. And the moment I receive some ideas or inputs or insights, I immediately jot them down in my trusty tablet. So, when I go home, I don't have to recall these ideas and inputs. I don't have to waste time in recalling. They're already there on my trusty tablet. All I have to do is I have to work on fleshing them out, adding flesh, bones, body to them. The skeleton is already ready on my tablet. So that saves me a lot of time. Observation, interaction, fusion of my professional passion, the objective observation mode, all these aspects save me a lot of time and energy. And one more important thing, Purnima, is that I'm not on any other social media website or platform. I'm there only on LinkedIn, which is a professional networking hub. And this is a big time saver and energy saver for me. And one more important thing is I do not watch the idiot box. You won't believe it. In UK, the apartment where I'm staying with my friends, my colleagues, we don't have a TV unit. We don't have a television set in our apartment. So this is a huge time saver and energy saver, which helps me to invest in creative activities, constructive activities, and in responding to kind-hearted people like yourself in a timely manner. So I'm not, my attention is not diverted by things. Rather, my attention is triggered by those things to find out the knowledge gaps and then work on those knowledge gaps. And my trusty tablet is always there with me. You know, even in project meetings when the client is around, I still have the trusty tablet. I tell the client, please hold on. Let me just jot down something. So when I go home, I don't have to recall or waste time recalling.
Wow, you gave so many great ideas. When I was growing up, and I started my career as an architect, and I don't practice architecture anymore. I have so many things at the same time, and at that time, I was advised that focus on one thing. You can't be so many things at once. And so it took me a really long time to be comfortable with, the architect, project manager, fund manager, strategist, consultant side of me.
Wow.
How did you get to it so soon? Like, you're so young. How did you get to it so soon?
Yeah, actually, there are lots of techniques or tips which are related to, mindful practices or mindful awareness. It has been my practice right from around 8 to 9 years ago that every morning before I step out into my corporate role, I set aside 15 minutes of me time. I'm not talking about hardcore meditation here. I just concentrate on my breathing. Breath is is the focal point of life. It's the inner locus of control. So just concentrate on your breathing, and there's a point, even if it's just a split second, that you achieve that silence between thoughts. There's a small window which gives you that silence between thoughts, and that silence is formless and it's golden and it's truthful, and that's where your inner voice starts surfacing. It starts giving you sublime signals. It takes a little time. In a few months you are able to achieve that kind of silence for a minute or two, and when you get those sublime signals and you start following them, then your inner guidance or your intuitive system comes alive, because all your ideas, all those subtle voices, sublime signals are embedded in your subconscious. So normally what happens is 24/7 our conscious mind is working, the negative chatter is working. You need to suppress that negative chatter. The only way to suppress it is to look within. What I mean by saying, when I say look within, is not close your eyes and look within literally, but focus on your breath. Even you can keep your eyes open. I can do that now. I've reached that level that I can do this mindful meditation even with my eyes open, after 8 years of long practice. But it has to be done every day, 15 minutes. 15 minutes is enough. You don't have to sit for like 24 hours in a samadhi position. It's not required. It could be before stepping out in a corporate role, your personal life or social settings. Do this every day. There's one more very important technique that I follow regularly. It's called mind mapping. This helps me to blend both my roles, my outer self, which is a limited role of a software engineer, and my inner dynamic self of a writer and a peace ambassador. I can blend them seamlessly because of this one very important technique. It's called mind mapping. In mind mapping, what you do is, even if you're not a visually oriented person, there's some people who are more into writing or more into hearing, some are more visually oriented. That's all right. What you can do is you can take a large sheet of paper. In the central point, you place your main goal that you want to tackle in the next few months. You can draw a small picture. Maybe you want to set up a restaurant or something. You draw a small picture and then divide those that central theme into sub thoughts. These sub thoughts are nothing but your sub goals, and with each sub goal you have a strong emotional attachment which surfaces while you're drawing those small sub modules, and then you link it up to the central theme. You can add keynotes, you can add some keywords, you can add some deadlines, and this gives you a bigger picture perspective, when you have a visual chart in front of you. And it also helps you to pinpoint areas that need, upgradation of your skills, or areas that need emotional release in terms of that goal, because there's lots of fears in the background that are working against the goal. You need to overcome those fears. Once you remove those fears, you can definitely reach closer to your goal. And of course, you also need to have some kind of a tracking mechanism against which you can measure your goal performance on a weekly basis or a fortnightly basis. Depends upon the goal size, the goal definition. So that's what I do regularly for both my roles. I do it on a weekly basis.
You said so many things, and yet they were so clear, concise, and on point. Instead of watching TV, create something on your own. Instead of looking at the negative distractions coming from outside, develop a practice of looking within, which we talked about mindfulness. You said visualize your goals and visualize where you want to be. Doesn't matter where you are able to visualize in the future for 15 days or a month or a year. And when we have so many distractions around us, so many things trying to define for us what is the right thing to do, I guess there is the best way to find answers sometimes is, or at least 15 minutes a day, is look within.
Right.
You said that you have lots of techniques that one can use. If you had to add one more technique to this toolkit, let's call it a toolkit.
That's perfect word, yeah. There's one more technique called as emotional tapping. Okay. Earlier one was mapping. This is tapping. This is like a subtle form of acupuncture. Okay. So daily before stepping out into your rush hour madness, what you can do is after those 15 minutes, let your emotions surface from the subconscious to conscious mind. Maybe that you're feeling a little nervous. Maybe you have a meeting or something. So your body itself will tell you where you're feeling nervous. Maybe nervousness is reflected somewhere over here in your brains, or maybe in your neck. There's some tension. So what you can do is you can use your fingers and just tap. If there's nobody around, you can directly tap. If there's somebody around, then you can do proxy tapping with your mind's eye. That you're using your fingers and you're tapping your neck region. You're trying to release the tension there. You're telling the tension, okay, I acknowledge you, but I'm not letting you get the best of me. I'm going to overcome it. This is one very, very, very effective technique. It will take some time, few weeks to understand the dynamics, because in today's 24/7 digital tech-driven world, what is happening is people are more connected to their digital tools than they're connected to their internal technology, the inner spark. So this will take time. They might think, oh, nothing is happening. What has Chitra told me? It's so baseless. It is not baseless. It will take a few months, 2 or 3 months to analyze your own body, because your body definitely gives you subtle signals and subtle hints, which we tend to ignore because we are connected to the smartphone, to our laptops. So that is one thing which is hampering people's progress at the deepermost level. But such techniques will help them to reconnect with their inner internet. Exactly, because we are very well versed with the outer technology, but we need to also be well versed with our inner technology, which is our inner spark. See, Purnima, we are not just this physical vessel. We are much more than this. It takes time for people to understand that we are spiritual beings, in fact, trapped in this physical vessel, and we need to step beyond this limited role of a physical body. We are much more beyond these 5 senses. We do have a sixth sense. Sometimes when we call our friend, we know there's something wrong with a friend because there's a deep connection. This happens with your family members as well. That's intuition, that's energy. People in today's times have forgotten these energy dynamics. Like my grandparents, my parents are aware of them, but my people of my office, they think I'm somewhat a nutcase because they are into their 9 to 5, 9 to 8 job, that's all. They don't think of anything beyond that. I try to coach them, but it will take some time because they are of my age, 27, 28, so it will take some time.
I am completely with you, and I did not know about emotional tapping. And I know, having used mindfulness and mind mapping to a certain extent, I am aware of my body and I know where the location of my fear is. I feel it in my stomach.
Okay.
This is such a refreshing conversation because it's when mostly I talk to people about careers and career related questions, and no one went this deep as of now.
Thank you so much. Actually, it's all credit goes to you because you are asking the right questions.